In Tales from the Crypt, Confession, the narrative begins with a deceptively calm exterior that masks an intensely turbulent inner world, immediately establishing the tension that will dominate the episode. The protagonist, Henry Whitaker, is introduced as a man whose outwardly perfect life belies the chaos of his conscience. From the opening sequences, the episode uses meticulous visual framing and ambient sound to signal the duality of Henry's existence, a technique that immerses viewers in the psychological undercurrents of his moral struggle. Henry's interactions with his family and colleagues are deliberately crafted to reveal layers of tension, as subtle facial expressions and awkward pauses suggest a hidden truth that he is desperate to conceal. The episode excels in constructing a slow-burning suspense, opting for psychological tension rather than overt supernatural scares, creating a mood of constant unease. A turning point occurs when Henry, plagued by guilt over a past wrongdoing, decides to participate in a confession at a local church, seeking absolution or at least temporary relief. This sequence is one of the most memorable in the episode, with dim lighting, tight framing, and a sense of physical and emotional constriction that mirrors Henry's internal turmoil. The act of confession is portrayed not as a simple ritual, but as a psychologically charged encounter, with the priest's presence and questioning amplifying the protagonist's sense of exposure and vulnerability. As Henry begins to divulge the details of his concealed transgressions, the audience experiences a carefully orchestrated interplay between revelation and suspense. The narrative unfolds with precision, gradually exposing the depth of his moral failings while maintaining a tension that is as much about what is unsaid as what is revealed. The episode's direction emphasizes the psychological over the supernatural, using visual motifs such as looming shadows, distorted reflections, and confined spaces to evoke the protagonist's escalating anxiety. The church setting itself becomes almost a character, its architecture and ambiance reflecting the moral gravity of the moment. Henry's confession is punctuated by intermittent flashbacks that reveal critical aspects of his past, each carefully timed to heighten dramatic tension and deepen the audience's understanding of his character. These sequences are masterfully edited, blending present and past to create a sense of inevitability, as though Henry is trapped in a moral labyrinth with no escape. Beyond narrative structure, the episode engages with profound ethical themes, particularly the consequences of deceit and the weight of conscience. Henry's internal struggle is mirrored by his interactions with secondary characters, whose seemingly innocuous questions and casual remarks act as catalysts for his escalating panic. These interactions are both realistic and narratively effective, illustrating how ordinary circumstances can become psychologically charged when filtered through the lens of guilt. The climax of the episode is both shocking and morally resonant, as Henry's attempts to conceal his past spiral into catastrophic consequences. The cinematography intensifies in these final sequences, employing disorienting angles, rapid cuts, and tight close-ups that immerse the viewer in the chaos of Henry's unraveling psyche. The denouement delivers a classic Tales from the Crypt twist, combining poetic justice with moral commentary, reinforcing the series' enduring focus on karmic retribution and the inevitability of consequence. Performances are a standout feature of this episode, with the lead actor conveying a wide emotional range, from controlled composure to panic-stricken despair, with subtlety and depth. Supporting roles are equally compelling, providing both narrative tension and thematic resonance. The sound design and musical score further enhance the episode, using understated motifs to underscore psychological tension and reinforce the unsettling atmosphere. The interplay of dialogue, sound, and visual composition creates a cohesive sensory experience, drawing viewers into the protagonist's moral and psychological struggle. Reflecting on the episode, it is clear that Confession exemplifies the series' ability to blend horror with ethical inquiry, creating a story that is as intellectually engaging as it is suspenseful. The horror derives not from grotesque imagery or supernatural elements, but from the very human capacity for deceit and the psychological consequences that inevitably follow. It is an episode that challenges the viewer to consider the consequences of moral compromise and the inescapable nature of guilt. In essence, Tales from the Crypt. Confession is a masterful exploration of human frailty, told with the series' characteristic blend of suspense, dark humor, and moral reflection. Its strength lies in the meticulous construction of narrative tension, the depth of character portrayal, and the thoughtful integration of ethical themes into a compelling horror framework. Watching this episode is both an engrossing and intellectually stimulating experience, demonstrating the enduring appeal and narrative sophistication of the series.